Hey guys, Jason here with my brother Shea, and we're in the Monomyth workshop. Now, I'm just going to flick over. We've got an old JMP 50 here. We haven't actually dated this yet, right? Haven't actually looked at the year, but it's one of the lower wattage ones. So we've checked the plate voltage on this thing, and it's measuring about 390, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Which is that era of 50 watt JMPs that had the lower plate voltage. Now this amp belongs to a guy called Mark who lives in New York, and Mark sent the amp to Shea's workshop knowing that I was going to be here and the two of us could work on this amp. It's been modded. It looks like, just an early look at this thing, it looks like an SLO style preamp. There's a 39k cathode resistor in it, which is a bit of a dead giveaway. I'll flip the video over and we'll have a look. Alright, so as you can see guys, this thing has had a bit of work done on it. It's got an extra stage in front that's been drilled in using one triode in that extra preamp, and there's been like a little board addition here where you know, there's a new plate, well, filter cap plate, cathode resistor, and a bit of a what looks like a triple peaker network here that's coming into switching on the low and high input. So when you come in the low input, you're bypassing that first gain stage, and when you come in the high, it activates that. However, the amp doesn't work, which is why it got sent here. And Shea actually found, we had this amp open on the bench for about 5 minutes, maybe 10. And Shea's already found the first problem, which is this. Right, this is a ground wire that connects in through these pots, through these jacks onto the ground bus here on the back of the pots. And this ground wire is providing a ground for the cathode resistors here, right? So 2K7 here, and this is the 39K cathode, as we said, right? SLO style mod. No ground.
The wire just pulled right out.
It just pulled straight out, right? Now, so we're just going to solder this back in and then test it, but we suspect that there's more than just this one problem, because even with the master volume down, right, and this master volume is just before the phase inverter, right, so it's after all of this stuff, right, it crackles. Like if you hit the side of the chassis, it makes the most almighty fucking loud crack through the speaker. So we suspect there's something going on. Bad ground is probably, you know, touching the presence pod is enough to do it. It makes it crackle. So problem number one, but further investigation is probably going to be required. But we did get it going and it sounded pretty killer.
Sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah. Mate, you can't argue. It sounds pretty good. So we'll get this fixed up and then we'll let you have a listen to it. Alright, so guys, we've fixed up this cathode, ground on the cathode, but the amp, demonstrate. Alright, not healthy. And again,
here's where it's going to be.
Shea's found it.
Hold on. Yeah.
Right.
We're going to turn it off. But
Turn
yeah,
it off.
it's in this.
It's in this presence pot, right? So if you know how these presence pots are wired, you'll know that through this purple wire here, this is actually the ground reference for the phase inverter. And if you lift the ground on the phase inverter, you get no signal at all. So just guessing, but if it's a bad ground here, that would explain it. And anything in the negative feedback line like that is loud as hell when it comes through.
Yeah, there's this piece right here. Yeah, I would say all of this. I mean, if you look at the look at the back of this pot and how it's grounded. It does not look very, very good either. So.
No.
So
Holy shit.
something is losing connection.
ground.
Just
That's
it
a
is
bad
going to be
ground.
the grounding. Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
But it's going to be, you know, it could be these.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't try pulling these out yet. Let's try that.
All right, let's test these grounds.
That one seems to be in there okay. That one's feeling pretty good. Now also, the filter caps have been replaced on this, so we don't know really what's going on there. Could have an issue with that ground.
Yep.
Let's see, where else? Yeah,
I will say, guys, just by way of update, Shea sorted out the presence pot. So what had actually happened when we were whacking it before, right? You could hear it cracking through the amp. The input here, there's so much solder on it that it was actually touching the casing of the pot. So you just kind of tap on this, and it was enough to ground this whole part of the negative feedback line. That was causing that crackling. So problem number one, problem number two, and now there's a bad ground in here somewhere. Problem number three, we need to find it.
yeah, it seems to be there's an issue with that ground. See right now?
Yeah. I think, is it this one here?
Yeah. Looks to be it. Now,
This is how we chopstick an amp monomyth style. you let it ring into feedback and then you hit it with the chopstick. That's how we do it. Alright, we've decided, fuck it, we're gonna have to pull the board.
yeah. Gotta see what's going on underneath there and clean it all up.
Yep. Sometimes you can get away without having to pull these out, but
Yeah.
this one, who knows?
Usually on a repair it's one thing, but so far we've encountered three, so that's quite a bit, right? 3 different things
Oh,
going
yeah.
on.
Yeah, and I suspect they all happen at different times. Well, one thing after the other, this amp became. In fact, when we unboxed it and plugged it in, it didn't work at all, like it was DOA. Right, just pull this sucker out. All right, so we haven't had to pull the whole board out, right? All we've done was taken the nuts off these standoffs. And normally with these ST1 boards, you can kind of like, you just tilt them up like that. If you get this edge of the board inside these standoffs, you can kind of get enough underneath, and you can look underneath the board and see what's going on. And what we have spotted is that this is the top of those cathode resistors. Yeah, this is I think a 2K7, is it? Oh, so it's a voltage divider here, I think. It's a 470K and a 1 meg. But there's no pads. So that kind of just, I don't know, looks a bit suspect. And you can see a PCB trace here has been bridged across at some point. This pad here looks like it's completely gone. So that could be very suspect. Solder joint there, because there's no PCB trace left for it to connect to.
Filter cap looks okay.
Yeah, well spotted.
If I just bought this off, as far as modded amps go, this sounds pretty damn good. I wouldn't be upset if I bought it,
Yeah, it does sound pretty good now that it's kind of operational. So, yeah, we just reflowed some of these joints around this area, right? These cathodes, plates, that voltage divider there. Just reflowed them all with the iron. And the board's pretty stable now. Not poking around. Oh, spoke too soon.
This is why Jason makes really great PCB boards, right?
Yeah, 2.4mm through-hole plated, 2-ounce copper float. Yeah, not like these freaking things. The old ST1. Well, mate, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. It's definitely more stable, but not quite a
Well, it
hole.
works too.
Yeah.
Not too noisy.
Yeah, the noise
Pretty-
is pretty good.
Not bad.
Because it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's yeah, when you mess with the board at all, like any light pressure, it does seem to be more pronounced in this area though. And this found another little issue here. The pressure on this grid right here is killing signal. So yeah, I'm gonna take that out. Probably retension the socket. Check that. More stuff.
So guys, we're just continuing to troubleshoot this thing, right? There's still some dodgy wiring, but just check out this grid wire here on the, what is it, the fourth step stage? Right?
Yeah. I think we're gonna retention. We need to retention this too.
And we'll replace that. We'll run the shield. bit of shielded wire for that grid.
Yeah,
I think.
because it's adding noise when you move it around.
Too much gain in the circuit now.
Yeah.
For that not to be shielded.
Yeah.
It's feeding back, right? Oscillating.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
put it in.
When you get it next to the shit. Yep. More work.
Okay guys, so we think we've solved all of the problems now. So this old shielded wire, Shea took that off, right? This is going into a 470k grid resistor. We retensioned the socket actually because it was loose, but I think we showed it on the video, right? If you move this, the amp would cut out. So this has all been redone. And then we were just showing, right, there was a green unshielded wire for this grid which would send the amp into oscillation, and also we think had a bad joint here. So Shea's done his magic here. We've got shielded coax and it's coming straight in to here, which is the same point on the amp, right? So we're just bypassing this trouble spot here, connecting right on, and it's grounded at one end, just using the ground that's right available there. Screwed the board down now, and we're going to give it probably one more test, but it's pretty solid now. Sounding pretty good. We might do a little tweak.
I'll do some tweaking.
We'll do some tweaking.
You can-
See if we can tighten it up a little bit.
Why not?
Yeah. Final tap test here, right? There was one final problem working, and you can see it's solid now. So, if you suspect it's bad, it is bad. Right? When we were doing this before, there were noises. Now, what it was, finally, was this cathode. Right, which is actually, even though it's the second yellow kind of wire, it looks like the second cathode, it's actually going to this first gain stage here. So it's connecting to this 2K7, there'll be a 0.68 microfarad bypass cap. So bad dry joint there. It's been reflowed and she's cooking. Alright, so we were just checking. One of the things that we noticed, and you might have noticed it on the video when I was playing with these knobs, the presence has almost no impact. It's like something wrong with it, you know? So we're looking at the negative feedback. It's this purple wire here. It's tapped off the 8 ohm tap, right, which is fine. But checking out this negative feedback resistor, it's this guy here, right, which has obviously been, it's a new resistor. This is one of these CCF60 series 5-band resistor, right? This is a 475k resistor. All right, let's measure it. in the negative feedback line, and so as a result this amp has no negative almost no negative feedback in it. So you want this normally to be, you know, it depends on the circuit you're going for, right? But it's common to see anything between, you know, 47k to 100k. So we're going to parallel in, rather than having to lift the board again, try and pull this out and risk frying one of these traces again. We're going to parallel in. Is this 82k?
82.
Yeah, 82k.
What is it? 69k.
Those two in parallel, yeah, 69k. So 69k off the 8 ohm tap should be good. So I think we're up to problem number, what, 12?
Yeah, I think so.
And we were just saying, neither of us have worked on an amp like this. It's just had so many problems. So here's the last one, but not
And
the
this
last
was, you know, this spot here, this was a trouble spot that we got right away in the amp.
one. Oh yeah, remember that was problem 1, right? The crackling.
Yeah.
So check out this presence. So
Let's get around there.
yeah. When this is pushed forward, this lug, just give it a bit of pressure and push it forward, the presence disconnects,
Yeah, it's losing contact.
losing contact completely, and the presence spot makes no difference, right? There's no, it's not in the negative feedback line anymore. So we think it's because this pot, like the lug, is just not making contact with the wafer. But we basically gave it a bit of a push forward. We might need to replace this
Let's
pot,
put a new
man.
pot in there.
I think we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we could actually wire it. Wire it as 5k presence.
The right way.
Yeah, the right way. Okay, I think we've finally done this, guys. There's been 3 more changes. Well, fixes / changes since the last clip. First one, this presence pot has been replaced. It's a 5k pot, right? So we've wired this with the 5k presence rather than the 250k with the 4k7 resistor. Both Shea and I think that this way actually sounds better, more responsive. We've taken the negative feedback resistor down, so in other words, increase the negative feedback in the amp. So it's a 33k now over the top of that 470k. And Shea found bright cap that was in the SAM, which was this blue thing. It's 0.047 microfarad, which is just like, it's out by a factor of 10. The tech was probably trying to put a 470 picofarad in there, ended up with something 10 times larger. And we noticed that, like, with this gain pod, you just crack it and the amp was blaring. Well, you know, the game was like the game was on 10. So now, well, we'll have to listen to it, right? But we reckon it's sounding pretty good. Fixed it, man.
That's a wrap.
And just finally, guys, if you had good ears, you would have noticed that the sound in this clip improved after the first few minutes. The reason for that is because I connected this new mic from Shea, and it was sent to me by Mark, who actually owns this amp. Mark works for Shea, and he wanted to make sure that we got the best audio for this clip. So thanks, Mark. Awesome mic, man. This is
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the model on it?
This is
It says on the back.
uh,
An MV88 Plus.
MV88 Plus.
Yeah.
There we go.
Pretty sweet.
Awesome. It's a stereo mic as well, right? If you notice, it's got left and a right. Killer.
Awesome.